Alright, I ran out of time in that last video, but I want you to do some practice. So in class, I gave everybody these same examples, and then we went through them to see if they were correct. So what I will do is I will give you a little excerpt or a quote from somebody's, whether it's a book or an article, and then at the bottom there will be some information, and I will point out to you which information is going to be important to look at. What I want you to do is I want you to figure out if you're going to paraphrase that quote or if you're going to take a direct quote and write it as you would be if you're putting it in your paper, and then do the in-text citation. Okay, so if you want to, you can pause the video to do that activity, so take the time that you need, and then unpause when you're ready, and then I'll go on and show a couple of possible answers to those. Okay? Alright, so students can expect to find a wider variety of options available to them at college than they had in high school. They really have no idea what opportunities exist in the big wide world. The possibilities are endless. Okay? So this is the information that you can paraphrase or you can take a direct quote from. Okay? This information here is set up like it would be on a works cited page. And what you should pay attention to are the author, which is here, and the article. Okay? So in a works cited page, the author is always last name and then the first name. So this author's name is Snuffy Smith. So pause the video and take a moment and practice and see if you can set it up and do the in-text citation. Right, some possible answers are: Snuffy Smith presents the idea that students have a wide variety of opportunities after high school. So because I stated the author here and there were no page numbers, this is a good enough citation. Okay? Or another option is that students have a wide variety of opportunities after high school. So because I did not state the author up here, I have to put it here in the parenthetical reference and then put the period on the outside of the parentheses. Okay? Okay, so our next one. If you are considering a career in law, English is actually one of the best majors to consider as an undergraduate. The skills you learn in logic and analysis transfer well to disputation. Okay, so that's the information you're going to quote or paraphrase for this. And you want to pay attention to the title of the article. So pause the video, take a moment, see if you can paraphrase or do a quote, and then do your in-text citation. Some possible answers are: the article to How to Be a Lawyer states that English is a good degree to have if you want to be a lawyer. Okay, so I included the name of the article in there, so I don't need anything in the parenthetical reference at the end. Or another option is: English is a good degree to have if you want to be a lawyer. How to be a lawyer. Okay, so because I didn't state the article here, I have to put it in the parenthetical reference. And because it's an article, you have to make sure that you have the quotations here. Otherwise, it's considered incorrect. And then again, the period on the outside. Alright, another practice. Students who select colleges because of the potential for partying are often sadly disappointed when it comes time for them to actually begin a career. Most workplaces don't have that many parties. Okay, so this is the information you'll be quoting or paraphrasing. This is the author, so the author is Abner Yoakum, and this is his article title. Also keep in mind that there are page numbers here for this one. So pause the video, take a moment, and try this citation. Some possible answers are: Yoakum advises that students will be disappointed if they choose a college because of the parties, because it will be difficult to get a job. So I stated the author here, so I don't need it in the parenthetical reference, but I do still need the page number. And the page number in that information was 33 to 35. I just picked a page for it to be on. If you're using information from a range of pages, then you would put in the range of pages in this parenthetical reference. Another option is: students will be disappointed if they choose a college because of the parties, because it will be difficult to get a job. Yoakum 33. So because the author isn't in the writing, I have to put the author's last name in the parenthetical reference and the page number. Okay. Life, like any paper topic, neatly divides itself into three major categories: pre-college, college, and post-college, each of which is determined primarily by the peculiar fears that dominate that stage. Of course, those unfortunates who never go to college are condemned to live out their impoverished lives experiencing only the pre-college and post-college stages. So this will be the information you paraphrase or quote. There's two authors for this one. The first one is Stephen G. Christ, and the second one is George Meyer. Okay, and then the name of their article is College and Fear, and their page numbers are 62 to 63. So pause the video, take a moment, try to practice this, create your citation. Some possible answers. Christ and Meyer state, life, like any other paper topic, neatly divides itself into three major categories: pre-college, college, and post-college, each of which is determined primarily by the peculiar fears that dominate that stage. And then page number 63. So I have the authors here in my writing, and I gave the direct quote, and then I put the page numbers at the end. Okay. So with this quote, I did not put a period here because the period goes here instead. The only time you would keep the original punctuation here is if you had an exclamation point or a question mark, in which case you'd put an exclamation point or question mark there and the period on the outside here. Another possible answer is life, like any other paper topic, neatly divides itself into three major categories: pre-college, college, and post-college, each of which is determined primarily by the peculiar fears that dominate the stage. So again, I have the quote, but because I did not state the author, I have them here in the parenthetical reference. So I have Christ and Meyer, and the page number. Another practice. Many students leave school with Jeopardy knowledge but no real skills. What employers want are potential employees who have the skill to learn, not just the learning itself. The ability to learn and adapt to new environments is the key to success. So that is the information you'll be quoting or paraphrasing. And then the article title is What Employers Want. So take a moment, pause the video, and try your citation. Possible answers are: what employers want argues that employers want potential employees who have the skills to learn because it is a crucial skill to have in the work environment. So because, again, I stated the article title here, it does not need a parenthetical reference at the end. Another option is employers want potential employees who have the skills to learn because it is a crucial skill to have in the work environment. What employers want in my parenthetical reference. So because I did not use it at the beginning here, I will use it and put it in the parenthetical reference. And again, because it is an article, you have those quotation marks in there. And our last practice one. Naturalists often run afoul of wildlife while in the field. Steve Barth had his leg chewed off by a puma after falling asleep at lunch one day. Thinking back, he wished he hadn't had such a large lunch that day. Okay, so that's the information you will paraphrase or quote. The authors are Clueless, I think that's how you pronounce it, Ingrid, et al. So Ingrid Clueless, et al. So and others. And then the article title is Fun with Wildlife. So take a moment, pause the video, and practice. See if you can come up with a citation for this one. Some possible answers are Clueless, et al. Explains Steve Barth's situation of having his leg chewed off after falling asleep after lunch. So because I gave the author here, I don't need it at the end, and there was no page numbers, so I don't need any page numbers there either. Or another option is Steve Barth's situation of having his leg chewed off after falling asleep after lunch. That's actually a phrase, so I should fix that, but you get the same idea. Because it's not here, you have to put the author's name et al. Here, so they know what to look for on the works cited page. Alright, so it's your turn. So now what I want you to do is, after you've watched both these videos, you've gone through all of that, you've practiced a little bit, go through your paper and do your citations. So make sure all of your citations are right and fix them as you need to. The handout that I gave out in class, it should be on haiku. Just make sure that you make that change on the 2 to 3 authors and make sure you have that "and" in there. I did not put that in there, so make sure that's in there. You can use that to help you. You can also use this website. So this is OWL Purdue. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. So what I have gone through is the basics right here. Okay, so I have gone through the most common knowledge, the things that you're going to see the most. Okay, so we've looked for, doing the citations with a known author, the corporate author, no known author. I did not do classic and literary works, but here it is, right here. So if you need it, you can look it up. We did authors with last names. Multiple works by multiple authors, multiple works by the same authors. So if you have something that I didn't go over, like maybe a multi-volume or citing the Bible, if you have kind of weird ones, this is a place that you can go to look for these things. Tomorrow when we go over the works cited page, this is also the same place that you can go. So I will go over the basics of things that I think are going to be common, and if you have something in there that I don't cover, you can always come to this page and I'll look it up. So this is something that you can use the rest of your life when you go off to college and you need to do MLA citation, and maybe you don't have that handout that I made up for you, or you don't have the actual MLA handbook like an English major would. You can go to this OWL Purdue, and it's usually up to date all the time. So you can go here and look things up if you need help with those things. So I hope that you found these videos helpful, and that you are able to do all of your citations. Remember that you can always ask questions in class, and both myself and Mrs. Hayes are always willing to help. So go ahead and try to do your citations on your paper, go through and fix them all, and then as you're writing your next sections, do your best to do your citations in the correct form. So I hope this was helpful for you, and happy writing!